Why did you back down in the face of this criticism?
Well, Laura, today we have announced that we are going to pay corporation tax in the UK. We're going to pay it beyond what's required by the law, and we're going to pay it whether we're profitable in 2013 and 2014. We've done it because, as I've listened to our customers over the last 6 or 7 weeks, it's very clear that they think that we can and should do more. We've had a long history of doing the right thing, especially listening to our customers closely during times like this, and that's why we're taking the action today.
Clearly, though, your customers and indeed MPs didn't think that you were doing the right thing. So why have you backed down? Is it just because customers have stopped spending as much money with you, or is it also a result of the political pressure you've become under?
Well, I mean, what I'll say is our customers have been very supportive of us through this, what has been a pretty difficult time, obviously. But they have questions. They have questions about what we're doing. And I think today's action fills in those blanks. That helps them see that we are the kind of company we are. I mean, what other company is doing something like this, right? And I think, back to your question, the answer is yes, we're doing it because our customers have had a clear view about what we should do, and I think they think we should do more, and that's what we're doing.
But if your customers have been loyal, then why do you need to act at all?
Well, because we have a long history at Starbucks of doing the right thing, and we also know that being responsible in business is also good for the bottom line. And with that confidence, we know that this is the right action to take.
MPs said that you were immoral. The fact that you've changed your behaviour suggests that you have some sympathy with that view.
Well, I don't think I'm in a position to say what's moral or immoral. What I would say is I would go back to the fact that we've listened to our customers. This is what they've asked us to do. It is a tough time. Look, I've talked to a lot of customers over the last few weeks. I talked to a customer in North London not too long ago, a guy who told me, he says, I love Starbucks, I come in here every day. But I go home at night and I see that my fire station's gone. I get it. We get it. It's a tough time out there, and he wants us to do more and expects us to do more, and that's why we're making the announcement we're making today.
But you are talking about doing the right thing. That is a moral judgment, because you weren't doing anything illegal. So you are making a moral judgment. Was your tax arrangement immoral then?
Well, respectfully, I disagree. What I would say is, again, I'm not in a position to say what's moral or immoral. I'm only in a position to tell you that what we as a company can do when we're responding to our customers, we're responding to the employees who work for our company, and we're doing the right thing. And as I said before, when we act responsibly, and we have a long history of doing this in all kinds of situations, we see that show up on the bottom line, and that's what's important.
So what were you worried about seeing then? Were you worried about seeing a large-scale customer boycott, people stopping using Starbucks?
Well, I mean, as I shared with you, I've had conversations with many customers. They've shared with the sentiment in a variety of ways and channels over the last few weeks. I mean, this is clearly an issue that struck a chord with the country. And again, that's why we're doing what we're doing today.
How did you ever think that doing the right thing entailed moving money around different countries in order to minimize the tax bill?
Well, I've been very clear about, what I've said actually is we haven't made a profit in the UK in some time, and that's not something I'm proud to share, obviously. We've had a long history in the UK of not being as successful as we'd like to have been. I've been very transparent as to the reasons why. A lot of that relates to, I think, early decisions we made in times of rapid expansion, and we got into some leases, frankly, that were too expensive for what we do. But the point is that over the last 18 months, we've made a number of significant moves to get sustainably profitable, and that's what's important, because as we make more profit, obviously we'll pay more tax. And believe me, there's nobody in this country who wants to be profitable more than me.
Yet here you're saying you'll pay a significant amount of tax on profits, even if there aren't any profits. So that's right. Not about just getting the business into shape. That's about saying something entirely different, that you feel you need to find money somewhere because of pressure on you. Well,
let me clarify. So what we've announced today is that we're going to pay corporation tax here in the UK. We're going to pay it but regardless of what our profitability is over the next 2 years, and we're going to pay beyond what the law requires. What I think the difference is beyond that, we are going to get into a position where we're sustainably profitable, and we will be able to pay more corporation tax over time. And what I will say is, we're not going to, if we're not in a position to make more, if we're not in a position where we're making more profit and therefore paying more material corporation tax, we will certainly consider extending these terms.
But forgive me, it's entirely bizarre to say we will pay tax on profit if there are no profits. And it's not entirely clear from the taxman that you can actually even do this.
Yeah, I think it's unprecedented. There's no doubt that, to my knowledge, this is the first time it's been done. But I think it can be done. I think we've had plenty of expert advice to say it's possible. Whether it's a donation or whatever it is, we're going to pay UK corporation tax.
So to be clear, you might actually be making a donation to make up for what's going on here.
Look, I would say that the mechanics have not been worked out yet, but we're making a commitment, and that's why we're taking the action we're taking today.
Some of our viewers will look at this and think, actually, the problem was that a big multinational company like yours feel that tax is up for negotiation, whether that's through using accounting moves, entirely proper, entirely legal, or whether it's through something like this, where essentially you're still negotiating the tax that you're going to pay. You're still doing this precisely on your terms. You're not reacting to the taxman's terms here.
We haven't negotiated anything. I should be clear that we have not shared this proposal with HMRC.
But you're deciding what you're going to do about tax. For most of us, tax is not a choice.
Right, so let me just go back to what we've committed to doing. We've committed to paying corporation tax in the UK beyond what the law requires, and regardless of whether we're profitable in the next 2 years, because our customers have said to us that they think we can and should do more, and that's what's important here.
But do you accept, though, that you are deciding your own destiny in this? This is not what most of your customers go through, where the taxman tells them how much they have to pay and they have to do it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess I respectfully disagree in the sense that we're making a commitment and that's what we're going to do.
But on that principle, you are deciding your tax affairs here, not the taxman.
Not necessarily, no. We're obviously going to share this proposal with HMRC, and we're going to come to some conclusion about what's possible. But at the end of the day, we're going to pay corporation tax in this country, certainly over the next 2 years, and we're going to get this business to a place where it's profitable so that we are paying material corporation tax over time, and that's what's important.
What would you say to a shareholder who might be rather displeased that you're going to be taking money potentially away from them to pay tax that you might not owe?
Well, I mean, I think we have a long history of Starbucks at balancing the needs and desires of our shareholders with those of our employees and those of our customers. And I think we've been successful because of that. That is a fine balance, obviously, in a business. And our shareholders trust us to make those decisions. I think they'll trust us to make this decision because, again, every business has to balance those things. Their shareholders, their customers, their employees, and certainly the needs of the communities they operate in. And that's what we're doing here, and they trust us to do that.
But don't you think there is a risk you're setting a precedent here? You're paying tax because of public and political pressure, not because you actually have to do so.
Well, I would say that we decided to make this move because, again, our customers have asked us to look at it, and they think that we can and should do more. Equally, we're getting to a place where we're going to make a profit in this country, and a substantial profit, so that we then begin to pay material corporation tax. And that's where we're headed, and that's our goal. And believe me, there's no one who wants this business to be more profitable than me.
Just on a final point, do you think the UK risks putting itself at a disadvantage to other countries? Because increasingly it appears we have a culture where politicians and some parts of the public enjoy bashing successful companies.
I think all companies in this day and age, and there's a tough time out there, right? We're in a macroeconomy that one of the toughest we've seen maybe in many of our lifetimes. And I think business has a responsibility to lead during tough times. I can't get into the macroeconomics of what one country or another country should do. The UK is very important to the Starbucks business. It's one of our biggest and most important markets. We're here for the long term, and we're going to invest for the long term, and we're going to do what's required to be successful here.
But is it helpful when you have politicians grandstanding, perhaps, telling you that you're immoral, telling you that you're evasive, when actually they are the ones who write the tax laws, they're the ones who write the regulations, and you're just operating within the frameworks they set?
I think it will be certainly up to government to solve this long term, no doubt about it. But in the short term, again, we're listening to our customers and we're going to do the right thing.
One final thought. Do you think now you've set an example for other multinational companies, perhaps Amazon, perhaps Google, perhaps the long list of others who are not based in the UK? Should other companies follow your example?
Well, I'm not in a position to offer advice to other companies, but I will say that we are doing the right thing, we're listening to our customers, and we're taking action today to respond to it and pay corporation tax in the UK.
Thank you very much indeed.
You got it, Laura. Thank you.